Hello and welcome back to the Tin Barn. I'm Pragmatic Lee, and this week's video is not going to necessarily include any lathe or mill or surface grinder machining type work, but it is going to involve something that every one of us that's got a machine shop or any kind of shop, whether it's a hobby shop, an automotive shop, professional machine shop, no matter what it is, if you've got a shop that's got an air compressor in it, that air compressor needs servicing. So oftentimes the air compressor is sitting back, in my case, under a shelter outside the tin barn, or it may be tucked away in a corner somewhere or up under a workbench. They're often out of the way and often forgot about until they don't run anymore because we didn't service them. This is going to be a simple service today. We're going to change the oil. The compressor I've got doesn't have that many hours on it. I wish everything that required a service, whether it be a lawnmower, an air compressor, a generator, anything that had an electric motor, electric or gas motor on them, I wish they had an hour meter on them. But this one don't. I've had the compressor for several years now and have not changed the oil, but it doesn't get used very much at all. I just use it primarily here in the shop to blow up tires, blow off the mill, the lathe. You've seen my videos. You've seen how I use the air compressor. Do very little spray painting anymore. But today we're going to service it and look at a few points that maybe we all should take to heart. Before I go out to the compressor, I got a little piece of sheet metal here. It's about maybe 4 inch by 4 inch. Got a little lip on it. Let's bend that up on the metal brake and make a little funnel out of it. As is the case most often with compressors, gas motors, the oil drain is not in the best position to drain and not get oil on everything. So let's bend this up and make us a little funnel. Okay, I'm over at the little box and pan brake, and I've got a line marked on our piece of sheet metal here, 1 inch in from each side. I don't use this brake an awful lot, but when I do need it, it is so very convenient and good to have. Alright, so what we've got here, just a simple little funnel. We'll wedge this up, this end piece right here, we'll wedge that up under the compressor, bend it down just a little bit, and then have a cup down here to catch our oil. Let's go out to the compressor now. One more quick thing before we go out to the compressor. When I installed that compressor under the shelter, I put this breakout box in between the panel box, which is back over on my left, and the compressor is out here to my right. But I put this breakout box right beside my light switches for inside the shop as a reminder to turn it off each day when I get done out here in the shop. I just don't like to leave it in. With my old compressor I had out here, I had a situation where a line blew out and ran the compressor all night long. That might have contributed to its failure. Recall several videos back, I give that old compressor to a friend who was putting a new motor on it. But I put this breakout box in here, and we're going to kill power to the compressor before we even go out there to it. The compressor is Porter cable, is 60 gallon. I usually run it on 150 pounds of tank pressure. That's where I got my cutoff switch set. And then I got the, again, 150 pound tank pressure and about 110 pounds of line pressure. That's plenty sufficient for what I do. Got a regulator right here, and then got other regulators inside on various tools, the powder coat station, and my where I would if I was going to be spray painting, a regulator in that area as well. Before we start on the oil change up here on the compressor, I want to drain the tank air as well. When I installed this compressor, I put a drain on the bottom. The one I had previously, which was it was a 60-gallon as well. I had a drain on it, but it was up underneath, and it was sitting right down on the ground. And in the summertime, snakes and creepy crawly things, I was not always that comfortable sticking my hand up in there. So this time when I installed this one, I put a drain on the outside. Now it should blow a little bit of moisture out when I open it up now. And if you're wearing headphones, be prepared. I'll try to, when I edit this video, try to turn the volume down on that. But every day that I use this compressor, after I turn it off inside in there, turn the power off, I'll come out here and give it just a burst to blow any sediment, any water settlement out. But we're going to let it drain completely now. Alright, I think that's probably drained sufficient enough now to be safe to work around. And I guess I should have saved some air pressure down there to blow it all off before I drained it. But we'll give it a quick little wipe down. It's still showing about 10 pounds of tank pressure, but I'm tired of hearing that blowing. Now before I start draining the oil, I want to get up a little higher here and just give the belt a visual inspection. And everything looks all right on that. And while I'm up here too, I'm also looking at the motor to see if there's anywhere any oil ports on that or grease ports, and I do not see any. So I think about the only service we can do for this, other than draining the moisture out of it, will be to drain and change the oil. Alright, here's the little funnel we made. Here's the drain. This tank or compressor actually does have a sight gauge on it. So we're going to tap that under there. And this is an 8mm hex. It's fairly loose. Well, I didn't know how tight it would be. Got a half-gallon jug here that I've cut off that we'll use to catch the oil in. And this only holds 16 ounces, half a pint. And that's getting 95% of the oil. There's a little bit run down on the tank. That oil doesn't look bad at all. But again, it's been several years since I put this compressor out here. Probably about 2 years now. I want to try to get in the habit maybe of servicing it once a year. I'll put it on my iPhone calendar to remind me of when the time's coming up. but again, this is not a daily use. So I may fire the compressor up and it may run a tank cycle or a power cycle, I'll say no more than 8 or 10 times a week. So we'll let this finish draining and I'll bring you right back. Alright, that will probably continue to drip for another hour or two, but I'm going to got 99.9% of it out, so I'm going to put the plug back in. And trust me, I will properly dispose of this oil. See, I dripped a few drops on there, but it was a whole lot better than every bit of it running down the side of it. I'll probably store this little funnel right here with it. I need to trim this tab back just a little bit further. Don't know whether y'all can see that in the camera or not, but there's one of those carpenter bees right above me up here, and he's doing his daily work, I guess. Okay, I need to locate a little funnel to pour the oil in, so I'll be right back. Okay, right here on this compressor it says SAE 30 weight non-detergent, 16.5 ounces. Now down here it's saying semi-synthetic 10W30. So I guess that's saying if you want to use synthetic oil, you need a semi-synthetic 10W30. But in the bold print up here it clearly states SAE 30 non-detergent, 16.5 ounces. I'd suggest you check with your manufacturer of your compressor for the oil type and quantity. Alright, I got a bottle of SAE 30 non-detergent. Let's put our fill spout on. Just take it slow and easy. Alright, that's showing 16 ounces on the bottle here, and the sight gauge is not quite to the top of the red dot, but I'm going to leave it at that. Another thing I like to check on a compressor too is this relief valve right here. This is a pressure relief. In the event the pressure switch fails, this should blow before the tank or any of the plumbing does. And it is working fine. So let's go turn power back on. Okay, that took about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes, I guess. Got it back up to 150 pounds on tank pressure. Hope you got a little bit out of this video. If nothing else, I hope it'll be a reminder to you to check your air compressor, give it a service, maybe annually, if not more often than that. As I said earlier, I'm going to set up a reminder in my iPhone to do this. It'll remind me once a year. I'll set it up so that it alerts me the day before and also the day of. That way, if the day of is on a Sunday, it'll alert me on that Saturday. So you guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video.